Hey guys, coming back for Team Wolf, Season 5, Episode 16, Liability, and I was definitely looking forward to this episode. I mean, like I said, last week's episode really surprised me. I really love last week's episode. This episode, not only was it better than last week, but this is now the best episode of the season. I absolutely loved this episode. This is what I love in Team Wolf. Not just have them go after, try to rescue someone, and then everything's fine and dandy in the next episode. No, this episode, it felt like the stakes were high. It felt like not everything is going to be solved easily, and we only have 4 episodes left this season. It's going to get crazy. I know it's going to, but let's just get into this episode because, like I said, I loved it. Definitely the best episode of the season, and this season is definitely back on track. I mean, not that those episodes weren't great, it's just the first half of the season was so great. The second half has been just a little bit disappointing, but these last 2 episodes I thought were fantastic, as well as the mid-season premiere. Really, this is still, I think, the best season of Teen Wolf. So the episode kicks off where left off last week, literally right where left off last week. We see Parrish, he's walking toward the Chimeras, and Theo, Valack, and Lydia, we see them, and basically Theo warns Parrish to back off, but he doesn't, and when Theo sends his pack against Parrish, they are all taken out with ease, and basically you can see right away that Parrish is more powerful than I think both packs put together. I mean, that's how powerful Parrish really is. And I think that was the main reason he was so afraid of being the Hellhound, because he knows how powerful it really is. And that's why he had all those, terrible nightmares of Lydia. He's afraid that he's going to hurt her. And knowing that he's a Hellhound now, he really doesn't know what's going to happen there. I think that's why we haven't had a lot of Parrish saying how much he cares about Lydia and loves her. So Valack drills into Theo's leg when he's distracted, takes Lydia away. Theo snaps back to reality, sends a metal pipe at the heart of Parrish immediately, causing him to fall to his knees, and basically Stiles runs after Lydia and Valack, but the door closes and he's too late, and I thought that was a great way to start the episode. I mean, Stiles just banging on the door, screaming for Lydia. I mean, just really, really crazy stuff. I mean, this really is the Teen Wolf that I love, and it really felt like this was insane. It really was crazy. So then we get a scene that I have been wanting for a very long time, and I'm glad we finally got it. Liam and Hayden are having sex, and let me just say that you guys know I love Liam and Hayden, and I don't know what it is. I mean, just these two, give them anything to do, any scene together, I love it. I mean, Liam and Hayden's sex scene in general, I mean, it was just great. Not just because Hayden, oh my god, I think she's hot as hell, but also the fact that these two, I think, just work really, really well together, and I really like these two together, and I'm glad that we finally got this scene here. When it's all over, though, Hayden gets dressed. Liam asks her to stay, but she says she has to. She asks him if he wants her to stay with him, and he says he wants her to stay with them. He says Theo is crazy if he thinks he can absorb the power, and the beast will end up ripping his head off, and that's not a good idea. And Liam asks her what she would want him to do if anything happened to her. She just hugs him, and we realize that this is actually a memory of Hayden's. Now, I'm going to say that this took place probably after the mid-season premiere, when, well, no, not after that, but when Theo and Hayden have that little encounter. That's probably when this happened, and you can definitely tell that I think she definitely still has feelings for Liam. I mean, if Theo told her to turn against Liam, she's definitely not going to do that. She, however, is still stuck with Deucallion, who I think is who definitely, I think, is dominating the, pack right, dominating the Chimeras right now. I mean, Theo does not seem to be the leader anymore. It seems to be Deucallion. Like, Theo feels like he's the leader, but Deucallion is the true leader. Definitely, I can tell after this episode. Basically, he tells her that she is a liability, and that's why she's still stuck, and when she's around Liam, she's simply just a liability. And Deucallion tells her that she needs to worry more about her ability to lie rather than being a liability. She needs to try to, use that a little bit more. So I think it's very interesting what Deucallion's trying to get her to do, very much like what's going on with Lydia and Meredith. Now, we find out in this episode, basically, Scott radios in to find out what's going on. The man on the other end tells him that it's a war zone, and Scott tries to get some more information, but he's unable to, and he and Liam need to find another way to find Lydia, because this is not working, obviously. And Stiles is still trying to get to Lydia. It's just not working. He's literally banging on the door trying to get to her. Nothing seems to be working, and Theo comes to, tells him that he can find her without him, and something that's interesting with Theo, I really think this is the episode where we realize that Theo's not a terrible person. I mean, the way they've built up Theo to be this horrible guy, yeah, he's done some really bad things, definitely, but I think he does have a different agenda than Deucallion does. Deucallion, like I said, it just seems like they're writing him as the true, mastermind of the Chimeras, the one that's going to, really make them be evil, basically. I think that's really what's going to be. So Malia and Kira are still locked in the electrical room. Kira's losing control of her powers again because she doesn't think she can really do what she can. She doesn't think she's as powerful as she is, and Malia shows her confidence, but Kira tells her to leave, and like I said, I like this conflict between Malia and Kira. Malia really believes in her, but Kira doesn't really want to use her ability. She doesn't think that she can. She doesn't think that it's going to work as well. And it's very interesting to watch. I mean, Malia and Kira haven't had a lot of interaction in a while, so I just love that they're getting these scenes together. So Natalie's trying to leave Eichenhaus, but she's trapped in the barrier. So she arms herself with a taser, and Natalie becomes a badass in this episode. I mean, I knew that she really cared about her daughter and that she really wanted to save her, but I did not know the lengths that she would go to get to her daughter. I mean, she was awesome here. Maybe even more awesome than Melissa McCall. I mean, Melissa is a great mother, don't get me wrong, but I don't think Melissa could do what Natalie could do in this episode. I don't really think she could do that. I mean, she's a badass. Like I said, Melissa is a badass. She's great at giving Scott pep talks, things like that, but not what Natalie did in this episode. I mean, I'm surprised that Natalie was even able to do it. So Scott and Liam find Meredith. Meredith is alive. She isn't dead. It basically, those scenes with Lydia, they were in fact real, but she seems to be in some sort of a trance, and that's probably how she communicated with Lydia. And they're trying to wake her up, which would make sense because she has all the information. And Theo then finds Stiles at the end of the cage and tells him that he has her scent and he can find her, unlike Stiles, so he's not going to be able to find Lydia because, he can find her and track her very well. And they make their way through the men's shower area over to a drain that leads to the tunnels. Scott is holding Meredith's hands and trying to get through to her for her help. He asks how they can find Lydia, and Liam continues to beg him to leave. He does not think this is a good idea at all. He thinks it's very dangerous, and just when Scott gives up, tries to leave, Meredith grabs his hand, lets him tap into her mind so that he can jump into Lydia's world, and I thought that was awesome. I love that. Malia sees Kira lying on the ground, kneels down to check her pulse, but she is stopped by Donovan, and you really start to see the chimeras, I mean, really do some damage here, and I like seeing that because it felt like we've had, like, Tracy and Corey and things like that. I don't really think we've really utilized the chimeras as well as we could have. I really want to see more of them, and here I really feel that they showed how dangerous of a group this really is. So she asks why is he helping her. He tells her that he needs her help with Corey, who is badly burned, and obviously she doesn't really want to stop the enemy, but she really doesn't have a choice to. I mean, he just saved her, so she really has no choice but to help out Corey. So Scott sees Lydia through Meredith's eyes, and she's suffering because of the screams, and basically, guards come to interrupt the process, but Liam goes beast mode, takes them out. He does, however, run into a big problem, and basically Meredith tells Scott that Lydia is being consumed by her power, and that he can't get past the Mountain Ash, but the Hellhound might be able to. And it makes sense. Like I said, the Hellhound was able to take out pretty much the entire pack. Scott could not do that, even though he is the Alpha, and he does have incredible abilities. He's not the Hellhound. The Hellhound is just a lot more advanced, and he can do a lot more things that Scott just can't do. So it makes sense why he would be able to take them out. Definitely. It would make sense with that, and I like seeing that. Very incredible stuff. Like I said, I really feel they utilized a lot of stuff very well in this episode. Parrish in general, I don't think has been as well done as it was in the first half, but here, I really felt he worked very well. I really love that he was his character, and I really think that he was developed very well here. So, basically, the Hellhound is connected to the Banshee, we find out, and Meredith says that once Scott finds the Hellhound, they will be able to get to Lydia. Now, this explains Parrish's connection to Lydia and why they work so well together, because they're meant to be here. It's a prophecy that basically Hellhound's connected to the Banshee, and he's the one that's going to be able to save her. So basically, Hayden's looking at her phone. She has 5 texts, and I'm assuming they're all from Liam. I'm just going to say that definitely things are very complicated between them right now. I hope they work things out, because like I said, I really love those two together. Deucallion's trying to get her to leave, but she won't. He tells her that he thinks that they'll become friends, and they will find common ground, but Hayden doesn't want to hear anymore. She has no interest. She injects venom from Tracy into his IVs to get him to shut up, because she just doesn't want to hear it. And I like that Hayden is not being an idiot. She's not listening to Deucallion, because she knows that Deucallion is bad, and she doesn't want to be, it seems. So Liam manages to take out the huge guard, asks if he is out, and when Scott tells him yes, he collapses in exhaustion, and I like that scene, just in general, seeing Liam collapse and everything I just really like seeing, because it shows that this is a really hard fight for them. I mean, yes, Scott Liam, all of them, they've dealt with these things before, but this is a much bigger fight than usual. These are two packs who are going against each other. You have one pack that is a lot more, threatening and definitely a lot more experienced than they are. And then you have, of course, the Hellhound who can take out both of them in a second. So this is definitely very exhausting, and I just really like seeing that. I thought that was definitely very well done, and I really like that scene, I have to say. So basically we then see that Theo and Stiles are arguing once again who will be able to find Lydia. They go over the story of her sister's death, and I actually really like this scene here. I feel like this scene really showed a different side of Theo we haven't seen yet. Because Stiles thinks that Theo pushed his sister into the water and that he also liked her. And just then, I like what Theo says here, that he was 5. He didn't really know what he was doing, and he kind of regrets it. Now, do I think Theo is on their side? Oh, no, I don't think that. But I don't think that he's as dangerous as they thought he was. I think it's more the pack that he's assembled and things like that that is dangerous. And sure, he is definitely, obviously, dangerous. I mean, he's the one that assembled this pack. But Deucallion seems to be the man in charge right now. And if anything, I think Deucallion's the person that they need to worry about a lot more than they need to worry about Theo, because I think even Theo doesn't really know what Deucallion's plan is. He knows he wants to get Scott's eyes and everything because he's the alpha, and he wants to be, and Scott's a true alpha, and he wants to be more powerful. I understand that, but it really seems like Theo is being one-upped by Deucallion, and I definitely like seeing that. It's really, I think, making Theo a much more vulnerable character, and if it is true that the Dread Doctors and Theo are going to be on next season, I do feel that Theo is going to be a little bit more vulnerable. I could definitely see that. So, basically, Theo hears a scream and tells Stiles what direction it's coming from. Valack is continuing his experiment on Lydia, trying to increase her frequency. He tells her to focus, push all the sounds except the one frequency aside. She seems to be doing fine, but when she looks over, she sees the body of Nurse Cross, and Valack tells her not to worry because Nurse Cross wasn't nearly as strong as her, and we know there was that woman that Valack put the Dread Doctor head on, and definitely that I found very interesting, but that was crazy. I mean, knowing Valack's been working with different people, I think they really showed how menacing and how motivated Valack really was, because I've been wondering, what is Valack's real motivation here? What does he want with Lydia? We find out in this episode, and I'm very happy that we did, because I was really worried that we weren't going to. So Stiles and Liam found Parrish, they wake him up, they tell him that there's no way to get out of Icon unless Plan B works, they tell him that he has to find Lydia, but he needs to be in Hellhound mode, and basically that's the only way. That the Hellhound is obviously connected to the Banshee, so the Hellhound's gonna save the Banshee. That's what they think is gonna happen. So elsewhere, Donovan's trying to help Corey and Kira, and to do so, they have to trust each other with members of their pack, and basically Malia draws the pain from Corey to help him heal, while Donovan draws the electricity from Kira to help her. And I like seeing these two packs kind of join forces. I thought this was definitely interesting. It just shows how big of a threat Valack really is. Obviously, they need to work together, and I like seeing that. So Theo and Stiles are running around in circles in the tunnel. Theo tells Stiles that he found Deucallion, he's going to help Parrish and end the beast, and that's basically his plan, that he's going to help out Parrish. We know, of course, that's not really his plan, though. He's trying to get Stiles on his side here, and Stiles tells Theo that to break a pipe so that he can hear better, and when he does, he can clearly hear Valack talking to Lydia. Now, I don't think that Theo's motivation is necessary to kill Parrish, but I don't think he's necessarily going to help him. I think what he does plan on doing is have Parrish and the Beast fight to the death, because we know there is that picture that we saw in the mid-season finale that shows the Hellhound and the Beast duking it out, and I definitely feel that's what's going to happen, is that Parrish is going to face the Beast, and that's what Theo's plan really is, that he's going to try to get these two to fight to the death until one of them is alive, and definitely that's very interesting. So, he can clearly hear Valack talking to Lydia. We find out here what Valack's true motivation really is. Why is he holding Lydia? Why has he captured her? We find out here, and I'm very happy that we did, because it's actually very interesting. A lot more interesting than I honestly thought it was. Valack wants Lydia to help him take out the Dread Doctors for humiliating him and making him look like a monster, because he's not really a monster, and he says that he was simply trying to open the eyes of other people and show that he's not that bad, but he wants Lydia to be his eyes because she can see things that other people can't. Like, for example, the cross's death. Nobody else can see that except her. And he tells her that she might not be able to survive, however, she can save the lives of her friend, and Obviously, Lydia's not interested because she knows she's gonna die and everything, and Scott and Liam jumpstart Parrish's powers by setting it on fire because that's what attracts the Hellhound, and Valack is trying to get Lydia to calm her mind or else she can die from what Valack has created because he created the beast of Gevadon, and the Dread Doctors are trying to get it to remember its legend rather than the teen inside, and holy shit, I mean, that was incredible. We knew that Valack was threatening, but I did not know that Valack was this bad. I mean, I knew Valack had some sort of a plan for Lydia that wasn't good, but just the fact that he was capable of creating the beast, I mean, that's crazy. And now we know why the Dread Doctors wanted it, and that the Dread Doctors weren't the one that created it. I was convinced it was the Dread Doctors, but no, the Dread Doctors are not like that. And I know there are some people that are thinking we don't really have a character for the Dread Doctors right now, but I really think we do. The Dread Doctors are just as, they're just not as powerful as the Beast, and they want to join forces with the Beast, um, to get it to remember what it really is. Because to me, it seems like the Beast is kind of lost right now. Like, the Beast is thinking of how it was in its human form, rather than how it was as, as a true Beast. And that definitely, I think, is very interesting, and definitely makes me think that we know that there is a team that definitely is the Beast. We just don't know who it is right now. So Corey, Donovan, Kira, and Malia have to rely on Mason to find a Transformer shed, but he can't, and Mason calls Liam asking him for help, but he won't answer. And I think it's because Liam knows that Mason is working with that pack right now, and he doesn't really want to talk to him. So Stiles and Theo continue to race through the tunnels while Valack tries to get Lydia to identify who the Beast of Gevadon is, and obviously she doesn't know, so she's not really much use right now. And Theo tries to interrupt the process and manages to do so. Lydia kills Valack with her scream. Such an awesome scene, but so graphic as well. I mean, literally, his head was like gone, just like blood there. I mean, I was surprised. I'm like, holy shit, this is graphic. I couldn't believe what happened there. But Stiles rushed in to save Lydia. The pack has Lydia back. Theo's left perplexed after seeing the helmet that Valack almost used on Lydia. And now we really know what was going on here, that helmet that Valack was going to put on everyone was for their eyes. And obviously it killed Cross, and he thought Lydia was going to be able to do it, and now we know really what it's about, that he's been creating the beast, and definitely very interesting stuff there. So Mason's working up the nerve to ram his car into the Transformer shed, but Hayden stops him. She tells him a car is not going to get through, and she decides that she's going to jump over the barrier and into the Transformer shed. And Mason tells her to pull the 2 red levers, but she sees only 10 red levers. And she's asking Mason what to do, but it doesn't seem like he was prepared for that. Like, he didn't really think that he'd have to help her here. He thought that she just knew what she was doing, but no. And I like seeing that Hayden didn't really know what she was doing here. So Parrish is in Hellhound mode, and Liam and Scott are following him. Parrish actually burns through the mountain ash, and that's incredible. I mean, the mountain ash kills Scott. That's the thing that weakens Scott, and just the fact that Parrish can burn through it is badass. I love it. And Scott and Liam manage to get through. Stiles is helping Lydia out of the tunnel, but she drops and tells Stiles to run. And before she can scream and take out her friends, Parrish covers her up, helps muffle the scream. He snaps out of Hellhound mode because obviously this scream, like Meredith says, is gonna kill her. That's what Valack's plan really was. And he snaps out of Hellhound mode, asks on the rest of the team which way to go, and basically, again, he did save Lydia. He was the one to do it. Even though Stiles was the one to get her away from Valack, he saved her because if he wouldn't have saved her, she probably would have killed herself. And I think that is really the thing that shows that, yeah, he did save her. And I know there's people that are going to be like, he didn't save her, but I really think he did because he was the one that saved her from being, he saved her from killing herself, because if he wouldn't have saved her, she probably would have killed herself, because like Meredith said, she's gonna scream loud enough to kill her, and if it can kill Valack, it can kill her. So Liam helps the team get through the electrical gate. The rest of the team, including Theo's Chimera pack, escapes. Tracy tries to take Lydia, however, Natalie uses the taser, takes Tracy out, and literally says, "I'm here for my daughter." I mean, such a Harry Potter Deathly Hallows Part 2 moment. If you guys ever seen that movie, you know that Molly Weasley, badass, takes out Beatrix and Bellatrix and basically saves her, Ginny, her daughter, and says, "Not my daughter, you bitch." Very much felt like that. I love that. And Stiles has to try to keep Lydia calm when he tells her that she's going to make it, but I mean, Natalie Martin, I did not know that she was this badass. I loved it. I love seeing her go into badass mode to save her daughter, despite everything that she's been through and everything. And it's despite the fact she doesn't really know what's going on. Her daughter's in danger, so she's gonna save her. And I just love seeing that. Such a great motivation. It's a very simple motivation, but I loved it, and I really thought it worked very well here. So Stiles is to try to keep Lydia calm, but when he tells her she's going to make it, she tells him that he isn't going to, and that's very interesting. Again, we know that Lydia knows of this prophecy, so there's definitely more that Lydia knows than we do. So what the fuck does that mean? I mean, how is Stiles gonna die? Stiles is probably gonna die, she's saying, and I don't think that's gonna happen, but to her knowledge it is, so that's very interesting. So, however, Natalie used oh, I just read this. So basically, she tells him they rush Lydia to Dean's, where she continues with her powerful screams, and Dean tells them to keep her still while he injects mistletoe into her. She lets out one final scream that shatters the window. Stiles rushes to her side. He begs her to wake up, but she isn't responding at all, and it looks like Lydia is gone. However, something happens. She takes a big breath. They saved her, and Stiles helps her up. She sees her mother, who rushes over to her. It's such a great mother-daughter reunion. She gives her a big hug. She tells her mother that Stiles saved her, and the rest of the team stands around with joy on their face. Stiles jokes that he isn't paying for the windows, and it's just great to see the team back together. And now I'm fine with seeing this pack back together. I mean, yes, I was upset that they were doing it the way they were, but this is perfect. The way they're back together now, they did this together, they saved her, Parrish helped out, everyone really helped out in this mission. It didn't feel like this was too easy, it felt like it was hard, and they were able to do this, and the fact that they're just back together, I mean, just really shows the camaraderie that all of them really have, that through thick and thin, no matter what happens, they will help out each other, they will save each other, and they have each other's backs, and I love it. I love seeing the pack. I love seeing their motivation. I love seeing the pack take out all these people when they need to, and I just loved all of it. It was just awesome. I loved it. But then the ending of this episode is very interesting. Just the way that this ended, I very much want to talk about this, because Deucallion comes to, Theo's returned to Hayden with the helmet. They're trying to figure out who the beast might be, and it looks like that Theo might have a clue, and that's how the episode ends. So, who's the beast? Theo clearly knows something, and it is connected to this helmet. Now, we know that Valack created the beast, and we know that Valack worked with the beast. So, the beast, obviously, something went wrong. Now, what could have happened? I don't really know, but the Beast is definitely a teen. We know that, and it's not one of Theo's pack members. I don't think it's one of Scott's pack either. So we'll have to see what happens there, because that definitely is very interesting to find out who the Beast really is, because Theo clearly has a clue. I don't think he knows, but he definitely knows something about it, and that definitely is going to be interesting to see who the Beast could be and who Theo thinks it is, because that definitely very much interests me. But let's talk about this whole situation with Deucallion. Like I said, Deucallion really seems to be the man in charge right now, and I don't really think that Theo realized that. I think he knows that there's a part of him that's like, I'm not going to be, part of this team for that much longer, but there's a part of him that also wants to think that he is, and that he is really the one controlling everything, when really, he's not. This has all been Deucallion. Deucallion's been the man at work. Deucallion's been the one that has jump-started everything, and Theo really is a liability. I mean, what he said to Hayden with her being a liability, that's kind of what Theo is right now. He's kind of the one just sitting there. He's not really doing a lot. They only use him when they really need him. And yes, he has helped them on their missions and things like that, but it really seems like he is just a liability. He's the one doing the dirty work, and that's basically, I think, what he is right now, definitely, because they don't even know. They know that Deucallion's working, but I don't really think Theo realizes what Deucallion's really capable of. I don't really think he realizes that right now. So I like seeing this bonding between Stiles and Lydia. I'm hearing a lot of people saying that Stiles and Lydia might be getting together, but we know that there's the prophecy between Lydia and Parrish, and I definitely feel it's something we're going to explore, because I think that Parrish really does love Lydia, but he's afraid that he's going to kill her. I mean, we know what he can do with that pack. He can take them all out. I mean, if he has sex with Lydia, she could probably die if that happens, and if they even get together, I mean, who knows what could happen there. Definitely, that's very interesting. That's something I know that he obviously is worried about. So Natalie Martin as a badass, I mean, she could be used to them, honestly. Knowing what she can taser out Tracy like that, I mean, she could honestly be of use to them in the future, and I'm definitely interested in seeing if we see more of her being a badass, because that was awesome. Hayden seems to be not listening to Deucallion, even though, she's working with Theo. I feel very much that she's not really working with him, that she has her own plan, and I don't really know what it is right now, but I definitely feel that there's something more to what Hayden is doing. I don't really know the extent of what exactly that is. And the only other thing I'm going to talk about are the Dread Doctors. What exactly are they trying to do here? I mean, we know that they want the Beast of Gebaddon to remember its legend and things like that, but other than that, what has been their big mission all along? Has it been to work with the Beast? I'm not really sure. I mean, there's a lot of things that could be happening. We only have 4 episodes left, and that definitely is very interesting. Also, Malia and Kira, Malia never really was able to help Kira. I mean, yes, Corey saved Kira, but Kira is still unsure of her abilities, and I feel like this is something that's going to be going on till the season finale. That Kira is finally going to realize who she really is, and that she really is this badass, and I'm looking forward to that. But overall, guys, I'm not sure you guys saw this episode. I thought this was a awesome episode. I absolutely loved it. It was, scary at times. It was thrilling. I mean, just all of it was a giant thrill ride. I absolutely loved it. Valack dying, I think, makes sense. We've seen him as much as we need to. We don't need to see him anymore. He served his purpose. I'm very happy that Lydia was able to kill him. And knowing that Lydia can do that, I mean, knowing she can use this scream as a weapon and what she did to Valack, who knows what else she can do? Because now the team, I feel, has really been established as to who everyone is. And also, her saying to Stiles that someone is gonna die. What does that mean? I mean, is he gonna die specifically, or is she talking about the pack in general? Because I'm pretty sure we are getting a death in the season finale. I just don't know who it's gonna be, and we'll have to see what that is. But overall, guys, I'm not sure you guys saw this episode. I thought this was an amazing episode. I absolutely loved it. By far best episode of the season, like I said. And we'll see you guys in the next video, which will be for Colony, and I will see you guys for that. Okay, bye.